All right, so for today's video, I've got a vintage Panasonic JetFlo that I need to put a new replacement cord on. This was a curb find, and of course the tweakers got a hold of the cord before I could pick this thing up. But cords on these aren't all that difficult to replace. So let's get started. All right, so first order of business, pull the bag cover off, and we'll definitely clean that out a bit. One thing that's very, very important, very critical on these machines. I've had these things come through my hands before. The plastic on them is very, very brittle. You risk damaging these basically just by looking at them almost. We'll remove this, that's trash. So you just got to be very careful when you start trying to break into one of these. And I'm gonna, so much so that I'm not even gonna use a drill on this to take it apart. But we'll go ahead and pull this filter out and clean that up. I don't think I have another one in this size. So in order to get into the cord, you just have to remove this panel on these. And this will be for any Cirrus, Prolux, Panasonic, or really any Panasonic derived knockoff. The Cars and Simplicities are very similar. This design has been around forever, like literal decades, probably 50 years now. Very carefully pulling this thing out. So we can see how we're going to get to this cord. So at this point, all you really have to do is kind of just pull the cord out, see how it's routed. So don't forget to take a picture. That'll kind of show you how everything needs to go back in. But now we have to pull this off. There we go. So now I'm just going to undo, actually make this a little bit easier. Let's take the new cord and kind of size it up. So we know it needs to be at least down that far roughly. We're going to cut the sheathing off right about here. Just kind of feed this thing back in, but we're going to use this strain relief instead. Basically at this point, just start wiring everything up. So we'll do this one first. Just going to install the white wire. Perfect. So now with this other black one, what we're going to do, let's see if we can put this thing down. And we're just going to patch into it because it's already got a connector going to this switch. And now basically we just route the wires all back through. These guys we can just kind of wedge to the side. They ain't gonna go nowhere. More or less happy with that. I looked at the picture just to make sure that everything was correct, and it appears to be. So we're just going to insert the strain relief. These are always kind of fun to do. Perfect. So now we can put this panel back on. Very gingerly put these screws in. So I've got some knockoff Type A Hepa Bags here. And you'll see that I opted to just throw out that filter. With the Hepa bag, you don't have much of a need for the filter. However, I'm going to try and find a replacement filter for this, or at least some more filter material, and cut out a new filter. This is all the stuff I had on hand. This is just how I have it kind of in there. It's not going to hurt anything. Like I said, these Hepa bags are pretty good at filtering. You don't need to really worry about anything coming out of them. But new bag on and in place. Simple as that. Now I'm going to very gingerly put this thing upside down so you all can see the brush, the belt. For the most part, this machine looks like it was pretty well taken care of given its age, because everything in here is clean. A little bit of fluff. Inspect the belt. Everything looks good. We'll go ahead and pull this out. I do not like getting into vintage machines like this. I'm always afraid of breaking them. Kind of why I put my fingers on these things, because I knew they were going to try and fly out, and sure enough they did. But just a little bit of fluff, nothing that's too bad. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this machine has been taken care of most of its life, up until probably whenever it was stuck out in the person's garage. This looks like a Eureka RD belt. That's interesting. Definitely don't want to break this. This thing, I don't have to guess about any of this stuff other than the bags and maybe the belts. All of the stuff for this vacuum no longer available, has not been made in probably 20 or 30 years, if not longer. So you really want to be careful when you're putting vintage machines back together like this. I want to show you guys this close-up. Even for such an old vacuum, the agitation is still pretty good. I'm not surprised that the light doesn't turn on, but I'm not surprised that it runs so well either. These machines were made really well for the time, and the fact that they've lasted as long as they have like this, that's pretty dang good in my book. Hope you guys enjoyed this video of this vintage vacuum. Stay tuned for more videos.